Most NASCAR Cup Series wins, Hendrick Motorsports. Record, 319 Cup Series wins as of late September 2025. Hendrick Motorsports holds the all-time record for team victories in NASCAR's Premier Division. Founded in 1984 by Rick Hendrick, the team steadily surpassed legendary Petty Enterprises, which had 268 wins, to claim this top spot. Milestone victories like Jeff Bodine's first win in 1984 and Jeff Gordon's dominant 1990s run propelled Hendrick up the wins list. In May 2021, Kyle Larson delivered Hendrick's 269th win to break Petty's long-standing mark. The organization has since crossed the 300-win threshold, a feat once thought unreachable. Multiple Hall of Fame drivers, Jeff Gordon with 93 wins, Jimmy Johnson with 83 wins, and others contributed to this tally. The nearest active team, Joe Gibbs Racing, trails by nearly 100 wins. Given modern NASCAR's competitive parity and the decades it took to build 300-plus wins, Hendrick's total is viewed as nearly impossible to catch. The record reflects sustained excellence over 40 seasons and stands as a testament to Hendrick Motorsports' enduring dominance in the Cup Series. Most NASCAR Cup Series championships, Hendrick Motorsports. Record, 14 Cup Series championships. Hendrick Motorsports has amassed an unprecedented number of Cup titles, far eclipsing other teams. Beginning with Terry Labonte's 1996 championship, the team's title haul accelerated with Jeff Gordon, who won 4 championships in 1995, 1997, 1998, and 2001, plus Jimmy Johnson with a record-tying 7 championships from 2006 to 2010, 2013, and 2016. Chase Elliott in 2020 and Kyle Larson in 2021 added recent titles, bringing them to a total of 14, the most in NASCAR history. For comparison, the Petty family's team earned 10 championships at the Cup level, 7 by Richard Petty and 3 by Lee Petty decades earlier, and Childress Racing captured 6, all with Dale Earnhardt. No other modern team is close. Achieving this many titles required sustained top performance across multiple eras. The difficulty of consistently winning championships, especially in the playoff era, makes Hendrick's mark virtually untouchable. With championship-caliber operations and drivers spanning the 1990s, 2000s, and 2010s, and now the 2020s, Hendrick Motorsports has set a gold standard that future teams will find extraordinarily hard to match or surpass. Most NASCAR Cup Series pole positions, Hendrick Motorsports. Record, over 250 Cup Series poles, first team to reach 250. Hendrick Motorsports has started up front more times than any other team in Cup history. In April 2024, the organization notched its 250th pole position, a record-setting achievement in the sport. This total is the product of multiple superstar qualifiers driving Hendrick cars over the years. Jeff Gordon alone earned 81 poles for the team, often dominating qualifying in the 1990s and 2000s. Other Hendrick drivers like Jimmy Johnson, William Byron, and Kyle Larson also contributed, with Larson securing the milestone 250th pole. The previous benchmark in this category was held by Petty Enterprises, which benefited from Richard Petty's 123 career poles, a driver record in its tally. However, Petty's team never approached the combined total that Hendrick's multi-car operation achieved. Topping 250 poles underscores Hendrick Motorsports' long-term speed and innovation in qualifying trim. Given the depth of talent and decades required to hit this mark, it stands as a daunting target. No other active team has the qualifying pedigree or longevity to challenge Hendrick's pole record in the foreseeable future. 5 consecutive Cup championships, Hendrick Motorsports, Johnson era. Record, 5 straight Cup Series championships from 2006 to 2010. Hendrick Motorsports has once again achieved an almost unimaginable streak of 5 consecutive titles via the number 48 team with driver Jimmy Johnson. Prior to this, no team had ever won more than 3 in a row, a feat accomplished in the 1970s by Junior Johnson's Holly Farms team with driver Cale Yarborough, from 1976 to 1978. The Hendrick and Jimmy Johnson streak began in 2006 under the early chase for the Cup format, and extended through 2010 in the playoff era, showcasing adaptability and sustained excellence. Crew chief Chad Noss and the 48 crew played a crucial role, consistently outperforming the field during high-pressure playoff runs. Each year, rivals would close in, but the Hendrick team found ways to clinch the championship at the season finale. By the 5th straight title in 2010, Johnson had firmly etched the 48 team in history. Considering the modern format's unpredictability and depth of competition, this level of dominance is widely considered unbreakable. Even Hendrick's own powerhouse stable of other top teams have not come close to replicating 5 titles in a row, underscoring the enormity of this record. 10 consecutive Cup race wins, Petty Enterprises. Record, 10 straight NASCAR Cup race victories in the 1967 season. Petty Enterprises, led by Hall of Famer Richard Petty, set a record in 1967 that stands untouched. winning 10 consecutive Cup races. This streak, spanning from July to October 1967, was part of Petty's larger-than-life 1967 campaign in which he won 27 races overall. Piloting the famous number 43 Plymouth, Petty and the team were nearly unbeatable on all types of tracks, from short tracks to super speedways. The 10-race win streak included victories at historic events like the Southern 500. In that era, Petty's operation was the class of the field, but even then, such sustained dominance was extraordinary. No other team with a single driver has come close. Changes though in the competition and rules make it unlikely that any other team could ever win double-digit races consecutively. With larger fields and more parity in modern NASCAR, Petty Enterprises' 10 straight wins is viewed as a virtually unbreakable record, a product of a perfect driver, car, and team synergy during NASCAR's golden age. 27 wins in one season, Petty Enterprises, 1967. Record: 27 Cup Series wins in a single season, achieved in 1967. Petty Enterprises also set the high-water mark for victories in that same season, with Richard Petty winning 27 of 48 races in 1967. This remains the most by any team or driver in one year. It was an era with a much longer schedule, yet Petty's win rate, approximately 56% of the races, is staggering. The team's dominance that year, including the aforementioned 10-race win streak, earned Richard Petty his second championship and the nickname King Richard. The key to this success was meticulous preparation by Petty Enterprises and powerful engines that rarely failed. The 1967 record is often cited as the greatest single-season performance in NASCAR history. Modern multi-car teams have approached half that total. For example, Hendrick Motorsports won 18 races in 2007 during a 36-race schedule. However, the combination of modern competition and shorter calendars makes 27 wins untouchable. Petty's season of supremacy stands as a benchmark of excellence that no contemporary team, not even today's super teams, is likely to equal. Consecutive seasons with a Cup Series win, Hendrick Motorsports. Record: 38 consecutive seasons with at least one Cup Series win, from 1986 to 2023. Hendrick Motorsports has managed to win at least one race in every season since 1986, an unmatched streak of consistency. The only year since the team's 1984 founding without a win was 1985. Starting with Jeff Bodine's breakthrough victory in 1984 and resuming with Tim Richmond in 1986, the team began a winning habit that has not stopped for nearly 4 decades. During this span, Hendrick's stable, including stars like Gordon, Johnson, and more recently Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, ensured the organization never went winless in a given year. This longevity record reflects adaptability across eras, from the rear-wheel drive stalkers of the 80s through the car of tomorrow and into the current next-gen cars. Hendrick has remained a contender. For comparison, the previous benchmark was Petty Enterprises, which had lengthy win streaks year to year but eventually saw seasons without victories in the 1980s. In today's era, teams often rise and fall, making a multi-decade win streak unlikely to ever be repeated. All-time Xfinity Series wins, Joe Gibbs Racing. Record: 217 NASCAR Xfinity Series wins, and counting. Joe Gibbs Racing, or JGR, has become the winningest team in NASCAR's second-tier national series. Since entering Xfinity, formerly known as Busch or Nationwide Competition, in 1997, JGR accumulated well over 200 victories, a record total that surpassed the previous powerhouse, Roush Fenway Racing. JGR's win count was supercharged by talent depth and Cup driver participation, notably Kyle Busch, who alone delivered over 90 Xfinity wins to the team. Other contributors include Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards, and young stars like Christopher Bell and Ty Gibbs, each adding multiple wins. By 2025, JGR's Xfinity win tally stood at 217. This dominance spans short tracks, road courses, and super speedways, reflecting the team's robust equipment and driver development. The next closest organizations historically, Roush Fenway with 138 wins by 2025 and Richard Childress Racing, lag well behind. Given JGR's ongoing commitment to Xfinity competition and continual influx of top prospects, their win record will only grow. Most Xfinity Series championships, Roush Fenway Racing, 5 titles. Record: 5 Xfinity Series driver championships in 2002, 2007, 2011, 2012, and 2015. Roush Fenway Racing established itself as an Xfinity Series powerhouse in the 2000s, capturing a record 5 season championships. The team's title run began with Greg Biffle in 2002 and was followed by Carl Edwards in 2007. Roush then achieved back-to-back crowns with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 2011 and 2012 and added another with Chris Buescher in 2015. This tally of 5 titles is tied for the most by any team in Xfinity competition. Richard Childress Racing has also earned 5 driver championships over the years, but Roush's sustained success was built on its number 60 and number 6 Xfinity programs, which dominated much of the 2000s era. Winning multiple championships with different drivers showcased the depth of the team's development system and equipment. In an increasingly competitive series, no organization has surpassed 5 titles to this date. Joe Gibbs Racing, for instance, has 4 Xfinity championships as of 2025. With Roush Fenway Racing scaling back its Xfinity involvement after 2018, its record remains intact. Matching 5 championships would require years of consistent excellence, a challenge that makes this record feel quite formidable going forward. Most NASCAR Truck Series wins, Kyle Busch Motorsports. Record, 100 Truck Series race wins, team owner Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch Motorsports, or KBM, has amassed 100 victories in the Camping World and Craftsman Truck Series, the highest total for any team in the series' history. Founded in 2010 by Cup star Kyle Busch, KBM quickly became a winning machine, thanks in large part to Busch's own driving dominance in trucks. Kyle Busch accounted for 47 of those wins himself, and he also cultivated young talent, including Eric Jones, Christopher Bell, William Byron, and others, who scored victories in KBM equipment. The team's first win came in its debut season back in 2010, and by 2021, KBM had surpassed the prior win record, held by Roush Racing at 52 wins as of 2025. Hitting the century mark in wins firmly established KBM as the team to beat in trucks. For perspective, other multi-championship truck teams like Thor Sport Racing or GMS Racing have accumulated far fewer total wins over their histories. With Busch scaling back his own truck racing and having sold the team back in 2023, this record is likely to stand for a very long time. Most NASCAR Truck Series championships, Kyle Busch Motorsports. Record, 7 Truck Series Owners Championships from 2010 to 2020. Under Kyle Busch's ownership, KBM not only won races, but also accumulated a record 7 Truck Series Owner Championships, a mark unmatched by any other team. This total includes 2 seasons where KBM also secured the Drivers' Championship, in 2015 with Eric Jones and in 2017 with Christopher Bell, and several others where a KBM truck won the owner title even when another team's driver won the Driver Championship. For example, in 2010 and 2013, the number 18 and number 51 KBM trucks respectively earned the Owners' Championship by winning many races with multiple drivers, including Kyle Busch, while the driver's title went to competitors. Such a feat is possible in lower series because part-time domination can net the Owner's Trophy. The result, though, is a staggering 7 Owner Championships in roughly a decade of competition. In terms of driver championships, the closest team is Thor Sport Racing with 5, all since 2013. However, no team comes close to 7 overall titles of any kind in trucks. This record underlines KBM's competitive advantage during its peak years. It's a statistic that may never be equaled, given that it would require a combination of depth, driver talent, and strategic race entries that only an extraordinary operation like KBM demonstrated. Longest primary sponsorship partnership, STP and Petty Enterprises. Record, 28-year continuous primary sponsorship between STP and Petty from 1972 to 2000. The iconic partnership between STP, Scientifically Traded Petroleum, and Petty Enterprises stands as NASCAR's longest-running team sponsorship. Beginning back in 1972, STP's logo first adorned Richard Petty's famous number 43 car, marking the end of the all-Petty blue paint scheme and the start of a new era. STP's orange and red Petty blue colors became synonymous with the team. The deal was revolutionary at the time. Petty even signed what was essentially a long-term deal with STP's Andy Granatelli, ensuring STP remained on the car as long as Richard Petty drove it. For 28 consecutive seasons, through Petty's 1992 retirement and with other drivers until 2000, STP was the primary sponsor on the number 43 car. This unprecedented run saw Petty win races and his final championship in 1979 under STP colors. The partnership fundamentally changed NASCAR's sponsorship landscape, proving the value of long-term branding in the sport. In modern times, such lengthy sponsor-team relationships are rare. Most last only a few years. But while a few sponsors have stayed in the sport for decades, they often hop between teams or scale back. The STP-Petty alliance, though, lasting nearly 3 decades, is thus considered an almost unbreakable record. It exemplifies loyalty and identity in NASCAR, to the point that Richard Petty is still nicknamed the King and remains an ambassador for STP over 50 years since the deal began. Any more unbreakable team records that you can remember? Let us know down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching the NASCAR's Explainer. We'll see you again tomorrow.